the gaining side. Swati.
All right, so that is how the markets are panned out. But let's put the spotlight on PTC India Financial Services. That has posted steady first quarter numbers with profit rising 10%. And let's head across to Ashok Haldia, who's the MD and CEO at PTC India, to understand what really were the drivers and the numbers that had come in. Ms. Haldia, great to have you on the show. First and foremost, tell us and take us through the main drivers of this steady growth that we've seen for the quarter 1 numbers from you.
One is our continued focus on the renewables. That has led to sustained growth in the sanctions, which increased by 57%, disbursements which increased by 69%, and also the loan book which increased by 38%. Secondly, our emphasis on the transmission, the road and these kind of infrastructure is paying dividends. So we have been able to finance more than a couple of transmission projects and also the annuity or the hybrid annuity based road projects. In terms of our profitability, that's as despite some of the NPA that we declared during this quarter, and as a result of which we had to reverse the interest income, our growth in the profit level is about 10%, and we had the PAT of 67 crores this year. On the whole, I would say that our business model and the change in the business model that we brought about very silently and swiftly in the last 1 year has been paying the dividends. The other aspect of the performance during this quarter, which needs particularly emphasis, is the NPA level, and which I'm sure you would also be quite noticing, is that we had declared 3 loan accounts as NPAs. And that aggregates to about 235 crores. To me, these were the stress assets we identified in the earlier quarters. We provided for these adequately, more than adequately, in terms of RBI guidelines in the earlier quarter itself. And as a result, not significant additional provisioning we were required to make during this quarter. Secondly, we have been engaged with the stress assets on a constant basis, and we have seen the investors' interest into some of these projects, and our dialogue with them is continuing. And thirdly is that even one of the NPA that we declared, we recovered a significant amount of overdues after the June quarter. But then because of those number of days reality of the RBI norms, which even reduced from 150 days to 120 days from 1st of April, that has caused to this increase in the NPA levels. But I would say that the situation is quite controlled, and we hope that in next 3 to 6 months' time, we should be able to reverse some of these NPA accounts and bring them back on track.
Sir, just to understand from you also, as you're talking about the NPA levels, and that of course has shot up almost 4.5% to 405 crores. You're saying that this will reverse. What is the timeline that you mentioned, sir? And by when will you see comfortable levels there? One. And two, in terms of your main business of financing energy projects, what is the order book or financing book looking like at this point in time for energy projects per se?
I believe within 3 to 6 months' time, we should be able to put these loan accounts back on track. This is also bolstered by the fact that we have been recently covered or recently defined as a financial institution, the SURFACE Act. This enhances our effectiveness a great deal in dealing with the erring promoters and also turning around the projects, and coupled with the other initiatives that the Government of India is taking in terms of the bankruptcy laws, etc. So I would believe within 3 to 6 months' time we should be able to. As far as your question on the what holds for the future, in terms of the growth, I have been constantly maintaining that 30 to 50% growth, that there should not be any problem for us to manage. This quarter also see the growth within that range, and we have undisbursed sanction of the order of about 5,000 crores, and also the pipeline of projects after first level clearance, that is in preliminary level clearance of about 2,500 to 3,000 crores. So this is good enough pipeline for me to ensure that the growth continues on the trajectory that we have been able to hold in the past. On the stress assets, I've already told you that in addition to the NPAs, we have those structured assets whereby you need to provide for because of the RBI guidelines if the COD date is extended beyond a certain time period. So that takes into account about, I would believe, 300 to 400 crores. So I would say that as of now that we should be able to manage these NPA levels or the stress assets level within the range that I have pointed out.
Right. So when you spoke about the NPA recognition norms being the number of days being reduced from 150 to 120, are you ahead of the cycle? Have you made further effort beyond recognizing 120 days, or do you still need to match up to the 120 days going ahead in the next few quarters?
From 1st of April, we were required to match up that 120 deadlines, and we have matched up those 120 deadlines. Because in one of the case, if the recovery that we made after the June quarter, if we would have made by 30th June, that account would not have been NPA. But then that's what the RBI norm says, and that's what we do follow.
Sir, is there a watch list that you would like to flag off in terms of those accounts which in the next period might turn into NPAs and which are facing a certain amount of stress right now, like the 3 accounts which cumulatively quantified for 235 crores? Are there more certain accounts on your watch list? And if yes, can you share the quantum with us?
As I said, other than the NPA, we have those restructured assets. And that taken together comes to about 800 to 900 crores. And I don't think there would be anything beyond that.
Right. Sir, what about, you've got the financial institution tag under the SARFAESI Act. You think there's a need to invoke that for some of the stressed assets anytime soon? If yes, what are these companies, if you can highlight?
We have been very compassionate, at the same time very deft in dealing with the borrowers. If borrowers have a problem, we are with them. We try to help them out, talking to other stakeholders, providing further funding. But if they are not, then we are dealing with very deftly, and if requires legal actions, we are not hesitating in taking those. And that is what I was saying, that in these cases where the borrowers are not coming along to turn around the project, this SARFAESI Act would help us a great deal in dealing with those erring borrowers.
Sir, how much of recoveries and upgradations in this quarter, and what is the outlook on that going ahead?
I think the quarter means the only 1.5 months left now, and it would not be prudent on my part to give the numbers. But we certainly hope that something should emerge even during this quarter in bringing back the couple of NPAs brought on the track. But the numbers and the certainty were possibly not appropriate on my part to state.
Mr. Haldia, you essentially, fund or finance the energy projects. Any plans to go beyond that, and any big focus area where you think you can maybe start lending in a big way, where you see potential, and any plans on that front?
No, we are focused on the energy space. You rightly said, and in the energy, we have moved a great deal on the renewables, and we see the great opportunity still lies there. Not only in terms of what we can, if I can use the conventional solar and the wind, there are much more opportunity in the renewables itself that would emerge, and that would be our focus area. In addition to that, we have the transmission projects, the road projects for the last mile funding, and also the expansion of the existing ports. That these 3-4 areas we see a great opportunity down the road. After few months or a year or two, the privatization of the distribution in many shades would be another opportunity for us to look into.
All right, Ms. Haldia, many thanks for joining us and sharing your perspective, the details. Thank you very much for that. But we move on and we talk about the disappointing first quarter from Just Dial. In fact, profits for the company have grown 8%, while margins have actually seen a sharp decline. We caught up with Ram Kumar Krishna much, Ari. He is a CFO at Just Dial, and asked him about the road ahead for the company.
As far